I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. 'Cause if I start walking, y'all, the cane gonna trip me up. Great rising, y'all. Yeah, I tell y'all I was having some phone issues, so um, working on it. But I'll be singing the opening. I hope I get it all worked out by the time I can do the release for the theme song of I'm walking trying to, well, the show. I'm walking trying to save my feet and toes. Get your mat, get your weights, get your chair, line up if you're walking wall to wall. Or back and forth. Remember how when I was in Vegas, I just went back and forth in front of the camera, and I'm telling you, I was sweating. Let's get ready for this walk. Yes. Whew. Great rising. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I am excited. My blood pressure fell to low. And, you know, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. And because I live in New York and we listen to 1010 Wins News, we listen to the 10 o'clock news before Fox got on dirty, nasty, disgusting. But, so, true crime, because you hear the news, but you never know if the case was ever solved or whatever happened. So, it always amazes me in the Midwest or wherever there's like a huge white population and something happens and they say, these things don't happen here. Wow. We sleep with our doors open. These things don't happen here. Wow. 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 I've never been able to say that any place I've lived. We sleep with our doors open. The kids can lay down in the yard overnight. It doesn't happen here. So I started looking at the areas, at the here's. A lot of here's in Midwest, but definitely towns where there are no brown, black, tan, or beige people. So that's what they mean. This doesn't happen amongst us white people. But I understand it now. I understand it now. This is a penal colony and they know it. It seems like only African Americans don't know it. And they know that it doesn't happen here because they made sure to take all the African, the beige, brother, and put them over there. And in their heads, they're the only ones, black, brown, tans, are the only ones that are doing crimes. Why? Because we're on a penal colony. Blood, blood, blood. Go all the way back. We're descendants of the people who were born here. Prisoner of War of the King. It's in the history books. Go take a look. Then we became enslaved by the Hatfield McCoys. The overseers and the patty rollers is Scott Irish, and they have been ruling ever since, though the chains got taken off. But still, it's just like, it's still a penal colony. And African Americans are blaming us. Oh, you got to take the chains off your brain. Oh, you got... No. And what brought it home for me was, how can a grifter, an orange shit stain, be a vital candidate for Warden? Not president, because this is not a country. This is a penal colony. So for Warden. But when you look at it like that, and you look at the prison system, so you can see the big penal colony. I used to say, remember I told you that story when I worked at John Watermaker? And the minute a black person, brown person walked through the door, it didn't matter. Old, young, great, didn't matter. You get a call with this code. So you would call security. And security followed the black, brown person around. So one security who was new there came up to the office and he said, we follow around the black people, but it ain't the black people. It's the little old ladies that come in with big empty shopping bags and leave with heavy shopping bags. And he laughed and they fired him. And I was like, but his job was to follow around the descendants, because this is a penal colony. We're on it. Our descendants started. We're guilty by blood. It wasn't about the old white women filling their bags. They can do that. They're not the criminals. The criminals are the blood. And I just got it. This is almost 35 years ago. And I'm just getting it now. That's why when we go in the stores, it doesn't matter. They know the white people stealing. They know that. That's not the point. The point is, by blood, from when the king brought out in prison ancestors here to this penal colony. And I can go tell you Spain did the same thing, because the Africans were attacking Europe. They don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you how close Africa and Europe are. A little boat ride away. So they don't want to tell you that. And France. So they came over to Europe and started kicking asses. And that's how we wound up here. They don't want to tell you that. But after the king got kicked out, they kept us I call them the Hatfields and Corn, the Scott Irish, that the king brought here to be overseers and patty rollers. They became, I don't like to call it plantation, because not a plantation, it's an encampment, a prison farm. They own the prison farms. They own the encampments. And so, when the cousins started fighting, because the ones with the encampment and stuff, they was like, we got enough money to run our own stuff. Let's separate. And then that's where the fighting started. So, okay, we fought the Civil War just to be free of chains and that severe restriction. So, it's a lot, y'all. But at least now I understand. I think about my cousin Willie all the time. He used to tell this joke. If they say on the news, a liquor store was robbed, and the owner said the suspect looked to be a black man. My cousin Willie would say, guilty. And we would all laugh. If we would look at something on TV and it had something with a African American getting arrested or anything like that, he would always say, guilty. And I thought about that, and they would laugh. They said, yep, guilty. I kept saying, well, how is these adults saying this? The man ain't even do nothing. And that's why, to this day, any white person, anything, like I said, he could kill his whole family, take out his wife's heart, put it on his head, have the kid's foot hanging out their mouth, covered in blood, so slick that the police are tripping on it. And they said, who did this? And he'll say, the black man. And they'll say, son, let me take your wife's heart from off your head and your tongue foot out your mouth, and we'll get you all cleaned up. We'll find that black man. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. Because this is the penal colony where we are guilty. Don't let that bullshit go. And that's what the ancestors said. Don't let that shit. You are guilty until proven innocent. We are. White people are innocent until proven guilty. We are guilty until proven innocent. Oh, I can't even tell you what a relief that is. I'm like, I don't break no laws. I don't steal. I don't take anything. Why do they have to follow me in the store? Why does this have to be this? And what is it? And I'm like, oh, like Cousin Willie said, guilty. If I walk in the store, I'm a thief. Guilty. If there's a crime and I'm around, it's me. Guilty. I'm on a penal colony. And when you trace my blood on this penal colony, it goes to the beginning of this penal colony. So I am guilty, especially with the Hatfields and McCoys in control. Guilty. But I feel better now, and I'm glad those fucking stores are closing. I hope they all close. I'd rather order online. At least I don't have to go to your store where the minute I walk through your door. I have to laugh when I think when he said those little old ladies, and I used to see them. I used to see them throughout John Wanamaker. There's all these old ladies with these big bags. Stupid. Oh. Didn't think of it. But the minute a black person walked in empty-handed, the call went out. And it got to the point that I was thinking they was guilty until that man came up and said, no, that's some little old white ladies filling their bags. I was like, oh, man. But that's what it is. Guilty. You ain't got to do nothing. Why come the cops pull you over and the first thing they do is blow your brains out? Because you're guilty through the blood. The reason why you're here is because your ancestors hopped their ass from Africa, went over to Europe, started fucking them people up, and was doing good for a while. And then they all got together, the King of Spain. That was Florida. He came over and brought his prisoners there. The French, they brought their prisoners to Louisiana. And old Brit, the colonizer, brought his prisoners of war here to this penal colony. that's now trying to pass itself off as a nation, being run by a terrorist organization. As they say, you can't make this stuff up. But my blood pressure dropped. It was like, oh, so it doesn't matter what I do. I'm guilty by association. Association to my ancestors. And that's why they don't want to live in the neighborhood with you. It's not racism. It's the fact that we're guilty through blood, and they will be guilty by association or associating with us. Whew. I love me some me. That's why I walk. That's why I walk. I done figured it out. Yes. Guilty. That's why Clarence Thomas' ass is getting ready to be caught up. Whoo. Whoo. He guilty. His wife's innocent. Clarence Thomas is guilty because he's a descendant of people who were brought here and enslaved here, in prison here, and enslaved here, and guilty. So they're going to get his ass, they're going to tear him up on this penal colony, because he forgot. He was like, I got a white wife. Yo, let's get some water. We got no music. I'm going to pour the ancestors. Whew. I guess I'm going to pour the ancestors the rest of this overproof. It don't matter if they drink in the morning, right? Thank you. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Thank you for loving me. Yeah, they said just say I love you. We got no music to break it up. It's going to be like this today and tomorrow. I'll fix the phone and everything, and we'll be back on Monday, but I ain't never been 65 before. I don't know how to work this anything at 65. When I practiced, spent all that time singing and practicing that song, it took a lot of energy out of me. It's not something I'm used to doing. I used to work out for 2 hours. Didn't take that energy out of me. It gave me energy, like now. But I've never been 65 before. So we're getting a lawyer for the copyright. Da-da-da-da. Bing bong bing. Boom bong boom boom. I was like, you know what? Oh. Just let me walk and just let me chill out. Let me walk and let me chill out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm walking and chilling out. But, that's why they said knowledge is power. It's the power of understanding that brings such peace to the things that you see. Like, when we used to stand in line at the department stores, and they would call, like, white people around us, like, you know, like, I'll take you. And we used to have to just stand there. We used to have to stand there and wait. And my grandmother, she was more resigned to it, and I couldn't understand why. But now I'm her age, and I totally get it. This is how it is on a penal colony. We are guilty. And that's why they put all that stuff out in the universe and to all the foreign countries. Ain't that something, y'all? Ain't that something? So no matter what you do, how high you climb, you're still guilty. You can get all the scholarships in the world. If you're on this penal colony, you're guilty. If you go off this penal colony and apply your trade, then you're a successful businessman, or you're an entrepreneur, you're trying, if you're this color. Because the other countries aren't penal colonies. They're real nations. But this penal colony is ran on free labor. So, and then again, I understand now too why I used to get paid less than the white person doing the job sitting next to me. Because on this penal colony, I'm guilty. So I don't get as paid as much because I'm a criminal. But the white person next to me is not a criminal. Not a criminal. So they get, for lack of a better term, honest pay. I didn't understand that. Even now, with Social Security, since I got paid less than the white counterpart next to me, they're getting more Social Security than I am. And that's how it is on the penal colony. I'm guilty. You can't find a police record for me. You can't find anything. Up until now, I have been a consistent voter. But I'm still guilty. My mother really thought she was going to leave Virginia, come up here, go to school, and get a job. If by the time she got up here and learned all that and cried a few times, she realized this is a penal colony. It was never going to work out that way for her. She didn't come from the, what's the name of Otis Thing's book? Our kind of people. She didn't come from the our kind of people, the Greeks, the Jack and Jill, the Robins, the Dorothy West character that they write from the Hamptons and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, we made it. We all graduated from college, high school. I have two sisters graduated from college. But now it totally makes sense. I was like, oh, that's why. Okay. I did a lot of research when I wrote the concept for Africans in America theme park. I had to take deep dives in African American history, the bowels of the Schomburg, the bowels of the library on Fifth Avenue. Just reading. But then you take it all in, but it's just all pieces. But as you live, it comes together. Guilty. And that's why those Hatfields, McCoy, you know what? I don't think I will. I don't think I'll live long enough to see any other rule than the Hatfields and McCoys. And because I won't see any other rule than the Hatfields and McCoys, that means I'll always be guilty. And the white people don't mind because they're innocent. I listened to True Crime and I said, but it would never happen to anyone in our family. And I was like, wow. I hope it wouldn't happen to my family, but I know the possibility of it happening is like this human experience. But I listen to them and they don't have any clue. I never thought anyone would take her away and rape her and kill her. My mother used to say, don't talk to no grown people. Don't go with nobody nowhere. If you go to somebody's house, you come back and let you tell me. We had all these rules going outside. And the white people were like, oh, there was nothing around here that gave us any threat of death. So what's to warn them about? And I'm like, go down with your sister in the hall because you know them junkies may be in there. So walk with your sister and y'all walk fast right by them. And then just like, but that's how the penal colony is. I remember reading this book. Al Capone Did My Laundry, a little kid's book about how this kid was raised on Alcatraz because they used to keep the correctional officers' families there. And just how they were free, but they weren't free. They just weren't in the cages. And I was like, wow. That's us. Not the COs, but the ones that still in a penal colony, but just not in the prisons. I'm probably not explaining it good. But my blood pressure went down. I had these high expectations, and the reality kept slapping me in my face. And once I embraced the reality, the expectations went down, and so did my blood pressure. So did my blood pressure. So did my blood pressure. Oh, so I'm guilty. What did I do? I don't gotta do nothing. I live on a penal colony. For me not to be guilty, I don't know. There's African countries where they don't believe African Americans are the beast that these Hatfields and McCoys made sure to tell the world. And thank God the internet is showing who the real beasts are. This is not a powerful nation. This is a penal colony. Obviously, as you can see, ran by terrorists. That's why they can drop bombs on Japan. That's why they can go in and just start killing and killing. Because they're born on a penal colony. Now, how you can live on a penal colony and only us be the criminals, but the white people make it work. Oh, the colonizers. So, I feel good. No, it's nothing we did. It's not feeling bad about the color of your skin. It's understanding your environment that you're in. Guilty. Right when we was in the senior center, when Orange Shitstain was running for president, instantly, the group, we were all mixed together. And then when he came, the whites started whiting off And then the Browns, African Americans started fractioning off. And I was like, why? And now that this is penal colony, they was like, uh-oh, we got to get away from the criminals because they're coming after the criminals. So then the white people went to the side because we are the criminals. Just by the fact that the king, was over there all them hundreds of years ago, walking around with Europe. And they made them dumb Scot-Irish patty rolling and overseers. And they've been tormenting us ever since. And they've been running this country since they got rid of the king. So, tuck in your elbow, neither up or down. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 for good luck. Yes! And then they put these Colts in. Whoo, chow! Tuck in your elbow, neither up nor down. 5. These are 8-pound weights, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 for good luck. Whew. Yes, honey. And then the terrorists, that's run this country, is ran by these Colts, honey. These Colts is trying to make Minnesota, Milwaukee, and somebody, the Jerusalem or the penal colony. They say when their Christ come back, he coming to Minnesota. Because Minnesota been around thousands of years. White people was over here running Minnesota. But you can make up stuff for the penal colony. It don't gotta be true. For the truth, you gotta search for it. You gotta dig for it. I'm so relieved. Like, comment, share, tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Thanks for coming on the walk. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.